Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? So today we are going to have our sixth lecture related with the research design, and we are going to discuss today scales or measurement. In my introductory lecture related with the research design, I told you there is a lot of importance that how you are going to measure your constructs, what sort of scales are you using. In previous lectures we covered population and sample and different techniques. Today it's a different topic, but it covers under the research design paradigm. So this is the main factor which needs to be discussed in the research design. You have studies, you have already covered these four scales: nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. In whole world things are measured on the basis of these four scales. Measurement is how you differentiate. You differentiate or you measure things on the basis of name, a scale in which the number are later assigned. Any number or later is assigned to an object, serve only as a label, just for label, for identification, for separation, for classification. That is said to be as the nominal scale. Let us suppose gender, male and female. Male is or female, 1 or 2. 1 is given to male, 2 is given to female. So this is what nominal scale. A classification, a measurement on the basis of name, distinction on the basis of name, that is said to be as the nominal scale. Providing certain orders, it is also a way to measure the things. Order: first, second, third, sophomore, freshman, junior. That is order. First semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester, fifth, seventh, eighth, like that. 1 to 8 semesters in bachelor degree and 1 to 4 in master's degree. You have certain orders in your semesters. A scale that arranges objects or alternatives according to their magnitude in an order relationship. There must be any magnitude or any relationship. The third one is interval, in between difference. A scale that both arranges objectives according to their magnitude, distinguishes this order management in unit of equal intervals, but does not have a neutral zero representing absence of the given attribute. There could not be zero, there must be some difference in between. What is between 1 to 3? 2. What is between 1 to 5? So here you have example, temperature scale 40 is not twice as hot as 20. So 20 is a separate thing, 40 is a separate thing. And in between they have 20 interval. We will see further examples also in our coming PPTs. The fourth is a ratio scale, a scale that has absolute rather than relative quantities and an absolute natural zero, where there is an absence of a given attribute. Examples are given: income, age. In simple words, ratio scale is a scale that can go beyond. like infinity. You can continue from 0 to infinity. That's the ratio scale. And you can also calculate 1.5, 2.5 like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what all your scales. So this PPT will give you more understanding. This is a pictorial form. Let us suppose Z or 7. 7 is a name, number, or I'm giving Zishan, that I was calling Zishan is a horse rider and he's riding horse. So I can nominate, measure, differentiate, distinguish Zishan with the Z or horse with the 7 number horse. So order ranking is slow, place, win. The first one is winning, second one is place, and the last one is slow. This is the order. Interval is what 5th, 6th and 7th horses. 7 is winning and is 1 second earlier than the 6th, and then the 5th is 20 seconds later than the second one. So this is what interval between these 3 horses when they are running. And ratio is what absolute number. Let's suppose 40 to 1. Long horse short pays $80. You are counting $80 whatsoever you say. So in whole world these 4 scales are used to measure things. However, in business research we will be discussing these, but in next PPTs we are going to some comparative and non-comparative scales. Right now we are going to non-comparative scale, then we will discuss later comparative scales. So non-comparative scale techniques are the respondents evaluate only one object at a time, and for this reason non-comparative scales are often referred to as monetic scales. Non-comparative technique consists of continuous and atomized rating scales. Another discussion, you have usually seen these scales. Let's suppose this is a continuous rating scales, and you have seen this atomized and this is a Likert. This is a mostly used technique, and most probably you have seen. In fact, you are using in your lecture rating 1 to 5 scale. You are rating. You strongly agree, disagree to strongly agree. So this is what usually people discuss, that it is not continuous. People discuss it is a categorization. No, it is not categorization. Like they say this is a 1 category, this is a 2nd category, this is a 3rd, this is a 4th, and this is a 5th category. Actually, the scales used here, these scales are visibly, they look like they are categories. However, they are summated. Their scores are summated, and that score comes into certain ratios. And all ratio scales are continuous scales. Ratio scales are continuous scales. So by nature, these scales are also continuous scales. And remember, when we will be doing data analysis, when we will be using SPSS data analysis, these scales will help us out. Nominal, interval, you will be selecting which scale is this. Either it is a nominal, either it is a ordinal, either it is interval, or either it is a continuous or a ratio scale. So I started from Likert scale because you know bit about the Likert scale. You are using in your lecture rating, also using these scales. This is what you are measuring. You are measuring your understanding about the lecture, that how much you have understood the lecture, or how much you are satisfied from the delivery of lecture. So this is what a practical example which you are using. So I'm going back, and we will be using or we will be starting from the continuous rating scale. Respondents rate the object by placing a mark at the appropriate position on a line that run from extreme of the criteria or criterion variable to the other. The form of the continuous scale may vary considerably. Let's suppose we are coming here. This is what continuous rating scale is. This is what is given, and one person, version 1, version 2, version 3. One person is asked to select from this, probably worst to probably based, and they have given certain choices. Let us suppose these are dots. If you consider, there will be some dots, and one person needs to consider either he is tilt worst or he is tilt to based. So this is the one version. Usually in this type, respondents are asked, researchers give them questions, they provide their feedback, and this is the version 2, worst. So it starts from 0 to 100. So the person who has selected is approximately at 30, so it is nearer to the worst. Then version third is very bad, neither bad nor bad, and very good, and they have given probably the worst and the probably the best, and the same, it is a scale from 0 to 100. The worst is 0 and the best is 100, and respondents are asked to select from the given scale, and they have a lot of choice. I'm not going to discuss it here. The second thing is itemized rating scales. What is itemized rating? The respondents are provided with a scale that has a number of brief description associated with each category. The category are ordered in terms of scale options, and respondents are required to select the specified category that best describe the object being rated. The commonly used itemized rating are Likert scale, semantic differential, and staple scales. So I will start with the Likert scale. So Likert scale is earlierly I have discussed with you that you are using practically. The Likert scale requires the respondent to indicate a degree of agreement or disagreement with each of series of statements. Let us suppose it is asked that Sears sells high quality merchandise. Sears is the let's suppose I am saying City Shopper sells high quality merchandise. City Shopper sells high quality products. If you agree, you will say agree, disagree, whatsoever you want to say. So this is a Likert scale that is used for collecting the data and for measuring responses. We are currently studying the measurement, lecture on measurement. This is another semantic differential. This semantic differential is a 7-point rating scale with endpoints. They have endpoints associated with bipolar. This is a single polar, you are asked, this is a bipolar. The responses are from the both side. Labels as semantic: powerful to weak, unreliable to reliable, modern to old fashioned, like that. And people provide the answers like City Shopper is a powerful or weak distributor in Haribur, and City Shopper is a reliable or less reliable, unreliable product seller. City Shopper is a modern or old-fashioned outlet available at Haribur. So the negative adjective or phrases sometimes appear at the left side of the scale, sometimes at the right. It may happen. However, in Likert scale, it is very much important. Least number is given to disagreement. Usually, students make mistake. They start from the strongly disagree, but they place 5 here, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. 1 to agree. No, this is wrong. This is given example is correct. Placing 5 on the place of disagree, that is, or the vice versa, that is wrong method. This controls the tendency of some respondents, particularly those with very positive or very negative attitude, or mark the right or left hand side without reading the labels. Individual items on a semantic differential scale may be scored on either -3 to +3 or 1 to 7. It may happen anything. It may go minus and plus, and it has a bipolar, both from both point of view it can be. These are some example of semantic differential scales measuring self concept, person concept, or product concept. Let us suppose there is an example given: rugged, delicate, excitable, calm, blah 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 blah. This is also semantic differential scale. This is a staple scale. Staple is a unipolar. It has a one side. Previous one has bipolar, both sides. Categories numbered from -5 to +5 without a neutral number. They don't have a zero. This scale is usually presented vertically. Let's say suppose it is given high quality. So high quality may be -1 to -5, maybe +1 to this. Poor service. Let's suppose City Shopper is of high quality outlet available at Haripur, or City Shopper has a poor service. Either you can read positive or negative. So staple is also a scale to measure responses of respondents or for collecting data. This is the basic non-comparative scales. I have discussed few of them, mostly used. This is the Likert scale, semantic differential, staple, and their basic characteristics, example, advantages and disadvantages are discussed here. I am not going to discuss them in detail. So in practically, when I'll be giving you assignment, we will be covering only one. This is not possible for us in a single class to cover all these scales practically. The mostly used Likert scale, we will be using Likert scale, and the rest scales were for your basic understanding. So I'm winding up this lecture and not going to discuss these things in detail. You can read out if you are interested in further related to that. However, I am more interested to teach you Likert scale that is good enough for you at the stage which you are in the semester which you are. So thank you for now. We will see another lecture in next week. We have completed 3 lectures, means 2 weeks we have covered recently. However, previously during the dry run we have covered certain lectures. So still we have research design lectures, 3 lectures available, 1 week more on research design. Then we will go to the 4th step of research, that is data collection. So thank you now. Take care. Allah Hafiz.